Hi guys, and welcome to GG Gaming and to this review of Rise of the Tomb Raider. So guys, I've played the game and I'm a little bit of shocked actually, because I beat the game for 12 hours and I didn't expect this. I expected to be 15 at least. 20, because that is what the developers said that the game is going to be like, but apparently it is not. So I bought the game last week and I beat it, although I didn't play every day. I felt like it was pretty fast, too fast almost. So I was like, what? The game is over? And I'm talking to my boyfriend and I said, look, I'm already beating, the main bad guy, and what the hell is going on? And he's like, well, you're finishing the game probably. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but that's not possible. I'm not playing this for that long. I mean, I expected a lot more, locations, a lot more story to that. I mean, not that there was not, enough story, but I expected way more. This was like an episode of a TV show, like the whole thing. It wasn't like the whole movie. It felt very briefly as a story. Just Lara going somewhere, looking for something, finding it very fast, saving somebody, and then continuing fighting the main bad guy, and yeah, and that's it. And of course, you have other missions to play after that, side missions. I finished the game at 58%. So I still have 42 to play side missions, but I don't feel like I will do that. I mean, I don't feel so. Although I did play one side quest, just it was along the way with a ship, and it was pretty interesting to do that. I'm sure that the other quests are going to be interesting. I'm just not that interested anymore, because this is not a part of, the main story, just something that you're doing the same places that you've been before. So that's why I'm not, that psyched about it. Other than that, the gameplay was great. As I said in my second impressions, I didn't know that I was going to do a review so quickly. I love the game. I love everything about the game. Mostly, the only thing that I kinda don't prefer is how you pick up stuff everywhere. And all that stuff are super useful, and you have to pick them up, but by the end of the game, the main campaign, you won't be able probably to pick everything up, and you still have some parts to open, to unlock from weapons and other stuff, because you find weapons parts along the way. You upgrade your bow. You have actually 3 bows. You can carry at the same time a shotgun and a semi-automatic. You have a gun, and like I said, the bow. So you have a substantial amount of weapons. You don't have grenades, but you can craft Molotov cocktails, smoke grenades on the way if you find, if you find them, if the map that you are particularly on and the mission has those. So the story is interesting. It's like every other pretty much Tomb Raider story that you can imagine. So it's not something like groundbreaking or anything like that. It's a bit of an upgrade comparing to the last game, and in the same time it's more of the same, but with a new paint job. Lara looks a lot better. She looks a lot more real, and she talks very interestingly, and very English. She swears a bit, and her outfits are pretty cool. You have I think three winter outfits. You have a leather jacket. You have her almost classic look, only with a blouse and some leather straps for the weapons, something like that. And you have even something like a Joan of Arc armor that I couldn't unlock because I had to go and hunt wild pigs, and I didn't do that because I didn't find any wild pigs, so I have to look for them. So overall, guys, graphic wise, I think this is one of the best looking games that I've ever seen, no doubt. In terms of how optimized the game is on the PC, it's very well optimized. In the beginning I had some problems, but then I got a new settings from NVIDIA, and the game ran with, you know, better graphics, higher settings, and I got a better FPS. So the game for me ran between 35 to, you can say, 40, 50 even sometimes, after that update from NVIDIA, which came pretty quickly. So I don't have any complaints. I only, you know, had problems in the first few days, first few tries, but then the new update came, so yeah, I'm happy. I managed to play this game on high settings graphics. I did enjoy the game on my full HD monitor, so yeah, I'm pleased about this.
We're on our own until they break through. No time! Croft out the package! We can't lose her!
This one.
Some got her! She's dead!
I'm very pleased how Lara is. The only complaint that I could have about her is, damn it, Lara, find a way to learn how to fight with fists, because you're going into a war zone and you are a soldier basically, and you do have to know how to defend yourself without any weapons available, because she did almost got killed on some occasions without any weapons, and you're going to see that on a cutscene as well. So that is disappointing. A lone girl, you know, you can't go into a war zone and fight a dozen and another dozen and another dozen, wave after wave of enemies. Train guys, and you know, to have your axe and your weapon, and every time she has to use the axe in order to you know, do some damage to the guys. And from what point of view, that's understandable, because they're all covered in all kinds of protective, you know, armor, and armor literally even, and you know, bulletproof vests and all that, and she is covered with only her jacket or whatever you dress her with. She doesn't have any protection on her. But from the other side, it's highly illogical that you will go, even if you are a man, no matter who you are, to go, a lone person, to go to a war zone without any training whatsoever, just, you know, gunplay and bow shooting. That's not enough. She's going to come across guys that are going to use their hands on her throat, which has happened, and just are going to overwhelm her and all that. But she has to know at least several martial arts like Krav Maga, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, you know, kickboxing, whatever she can learn. She has to be fully trained for this. So yeah, and not just be like, oh, I have a gun, big whoopity-doo, I have guns. Okay, that's awesome, but bullets are going to run out, and you have to deal with enemies with your two hands, and you can't always count on your axe. Sometimes you have to have an insurance account on your fists and your, you know, battle knowledge. And of course, if she knew martial arts more, or yeah, knew martial arts, she could, you know, finish her enemies a lot quicker. She will know pressure points maybe. I don't want to turn Lara into Xena, but it's just logical for her to have those abilities in order to do her missions, and just, you know, to have a better chance of surviving in these situations. But anyway, this is a game, okay? But games become more and more realistic, so I cannot point that out. And it's an upgrade from the previous game, because from the previous game you couldn't defend yourself at all at close combat. Now you can, but yeah, it's still not enough. That's my only basic complaint. The rest, maybe the game should be longer with better, longer story. It's too brief for me. Maybe I'm just a good player and went through the game faster, but overall, when it's all said and done, you just realize that this game is too brief, at least for me. For all the rest, you can just play the missions, the side quests, but this is not enough. I mean, better make the main campaign longer and better, have better motivation to play everything, and not to be like, for instance, in Assassin's Creed Unity, when you finish the game very early on, like 20%, 25, or whatever it was, and then just, oh, but you have all those extra content and side missions, and you can still go around into the world and explore. No, nobody wants to do that. Most people just want to play through the main campaign because they are giving their money for this, title, action game, and whatever it is. They expect that, and not just to have the game content to be the main mission, and the other half to be, do whatever you want. But if I want this kind of a game, I just will play like ESO, an RPG. And this is an action game, so better make the whole game longer as a main mission than to, cut it in half and do these side missions probably without any cutscenes and all that. Just a little bit cutscenes, I suppose, but it's just stupid. I mean, it's just something that you will play on a mobile game or something. It's not the main thing. It's not what at least I want, and I don't think that this is what most people want. Better make story longer, like, when you play Uncharted, for instance. I know that I have to bring up Uncharted again, but it's the perfect game to be compared with, because Uncharted is mostly on chapters, and you reach like chapter 25 and the game is at its end, or it's finished. I forgot how many chapters Uncharted had. I mean, every game has different numbers of chapters, but the story is so long, and you play to every chapter, and it's such a long and action-packed experience filled with story, character development, relationships, and everything done in such amount that you are constantly playing, you're constantly in the action. You're never like looking from afar, doing some quick time events. I mean, the fighting in Uncharted, sometimes you have to hit a button, but that is so rare. I mean, only in particular occasions. 99.9% of everything that you do in Uncharted, you are in control. You are hitting guys with your fists, left and right. You are throwing them. You are, jumping on their heads and kicking their teeth in, and it's just awesome. I can already see how Uncharted is going to be a lot better than Tomb Raider. But as a Tomb Raider game, I think maybe this is the best Tomb Raider so far. In a way, and the other way, the previous game had a little bit of more, at least I felt, a little bit more substance as the whole story, as Lara struggling to go through that jungle, through that super violent island, all those corpses everywhere and all that. It was kind of like a little bit of a cool origin story, I felt it a bit more. And this game is more shinier, more polished, and more action-packed with a lot more cool scenes. And I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like, she's jumping on top of guys, on top of things, but it's not a huge improvement comparing to the previous game. In the same time, it's not with so much of a substance. Basically, when you compare the two games, this new game is more, it's more colorful. It has a bit more a fun feeling to it, and the previous didn't have that. Not being able to fight guys hand-to-hand combat, and this here, but at least you can fight them with the axe. Anyway, I digress. I mean, the two games are very similar, and at the same time the previous kind of had a little bit more substance and felt a little bit more longer for me, and this one did not. But hey, maybe it's just me and I become a better player and I'm killing guys easier. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I forgot to, see how many hours I played the previous game, so I can't tell right now. If I have to give it some kind of a rating, because I have to, I would say that Rise of the Tomb Raider, is an action-packed game, action-adventure, third-person game, my favorite genre basically. It has to be an 8.5 out of 10. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments if you finished it. Of course, avoid spoilers for the other players that are not, finished with the game yet. Although if you're not, what's the hold up? It's a brief game, at least for me. So thank you guys, and till next time with GDG Gaming.
Lower level. She's here.
Best games for the best prices on g2a.com and citykeys.com. If you like to subscribe, you can click the button to the right, and you can also check out my gaming channel, GDG Gaming.